for coming tonight. I'm the villain MC, so please bear with me. I wasn't planning on doing this as of yesterday. First off tonight is Are You a Human? Reid's going to do it, but you can introduce the rest of your cast, and we'll just go from there. Before we go though, format's the same as usual. It's 10 minutes. First 5 minutes is demo. Second 5 minutes is Q&A, and then we'll try to move someone in the meantime. All right? You're on.
Hey everyone, my name's Reid. This is Tyler, and this is Ben. We're from Are You a Human? And I'll go through our company in a minute, but basically what we do is we use games for human verification online. So I'm going to start off, show you guys an image that I'm sure you're all familiar with. This is a CAPTCHA. I'm guessing and hoping that you've all been frustrated and annoyed by this at various times. So there's no good options. They're used all over the place. When you're signing up for an email account, when you're buying tickets online, there's over 300 million that are served every day, and they all pretty much suck. The biggest problem with them, from our standpoint, is that they decrease conversion. So up to 10% of people will leave a website when they're presented with the CAPTCHA, and that's important if you're trying to sell something on your website, if you're advertising based on number of views. So it has a direct monetary impact to website owners. And people are really angry about this. They're so angry, in fact, if you go to Twitter and look up hate CAPTCHA, there's a lot of people that were so angry they went and wanted to tell the world how annoying the CAPTCHA made them. So it's a pretty big problem. The current CAPTCHAs out there today are easily broken. Some of the simpler ones can be broken by random guessing. A step up, the biggest way they're broken right now is low-cost labor. They'll actually take an image of the CAPTCHA, send it to someone overseas, and they'll physically complete it. And then, as you guys I'm sure know, there's OCR programs that are dedicated to reading text, and they've gotten really good at that. So what happens is when you put the CAPTCHA in this mix between the website to try and screen out who's a spammer and who's a user, you block some of the spam, but a lot of it still gets through. You get people who are angry, so they leave the website, and you get decreased conversion. So it's not a very good situation. What we've done is we've taken a different approach. We've created a game. So it's simple 5 to 10 second game. We'll give you a set of instructions. And it's more complicated for a computer because in addition to the text recognition, you have to actually recognize what languages. We're giving you instructions. It's not just characters. You have to translate what we want you to do. You have to be able to recognize particular images and segment them out from other images. You also have to track them because we've got movement incorporated in our game. I'm going to show you an example in a minute. And then what we do is we track how you interact with the game. So it's not a simple pass-fail that you play the game properly. We track how you play the game, and we come up with what we call a human confidence score. That is the likelihood that we think you're a real person. So I'm going to switch over to demo. This is on our first implementation. It's a site called Windsmith Forum. It's just a small site for people who work on wind turbines in Michigan. So here they were using reCAPTCHA. We replaced it. You come up here, click start, and it's a little hard to see from where you are, but you basically have to match the windmill to the correct hilltop. And when you drag them through, you say success, you're a human, and then you go and submit the form. This is on the registration page. So this is an example of what we'll do. And what's important to note is that during this time while you're playing the game, you're highly engaged. So you can't skip this step. It's a few seconds where your full attention is focused on this one thing. That's extremely rare on the internet, and the advertisers that we've talked to have found this very valuable. They want to find a place where an audience is captive, where they can engage in the brand instead of just glancing at an image. And if you actually look at the numbers, the majority of ads online aren't even seen by people, and the click rates are 1.3 to 1.8%. So it's really low engagement. Whereas you take a look at playing our game, it's 100% engagement, so it's extremely valuable. So I'm going to skip by a little bit. The way we're going to make money here is by selling the space to advertisers. So an example, Domino's could have a game where you drag ingredients onto a pizza. Or Dunkin' Donuts has, you can dunk the donut into a coffee cup. I'm going to skip forward because I'm taking way too long and show an example of what an implementation would look like. So here's a Kikkoman ad. Here's where they have their current CAPTCHA incorporated. We can come up with a game that instead of just showing you their products, you actually interact with the products. And then we can keep the same look and feel of the current ad campaign that they have going. And is that done? Oh,
you get a minute.
Oh, okay. I got a minute left. So I think one of the nice aspects of this game is that you actually learn how to use the product instead of just seeing the product. So this is really valuable, and it's a really unique interaction space. So here, again, we can fit with the look and feel so you don't have this ugly capture that's in the middle that that you don't like. So come take a look at what's the environment look like when we incorporate our capture. We have better spam rates, block spam rates because it's more difficult for computers. You get happy users who play a quick, fun game instead of having to stare at this text they can't translate. And more importantly, you get brands that are get this rare engagement with customers. So the websites are happy because by the time that the users come to their site, they've had a good experience instead of a bad experience, and they get more people to that site. So that's about it. Just a picture of some of the team, and we'll open it up to questions.
So, but as MC, I get the first question. How do you go to market? How do you take this one?
So we've got really two cells. The first cell is to website owners, so we have to get them to use the product. Once we build up inventory, we then sell the space to advertisers. I compared a little bit to a pharmaceutical model where the doctor is the one prescribing the medication, the patient's the one consuming it, but the healthcare providers are the ones that are actually paying for it. Similar to us, we've got consumers that will actually use the game. We've got the websites who are making the decision to host the game on their site, and then the advertisers who are going to pay us later. So right now our focus is really on convincing website owners that it's a good product for them to use.
What's the technology and how does it work with screen readers for the visually impaired?
So right now what we're using is similar to what reCAPTCHA and other CAPTCHAs use. We have an audio, a quick audio piece that you can click on if you're visually impaired. Right now we're also working through having audio games. So instead of having to hear the jarbled audio, you actually have games. So we have two games that are in process right now. And I think that's something we're excited about because that's kind of an ignored segment right now. So right now we're kind of the same as the other CAPTCHAs, but in a couple months we'll have games.
Right.
I may be wrong, but the wind turbine one looked like it was only testing based on color. How do you deal with that about 8% of men are colorblind or in some form?
So you probably couldn't see it on there. What we did quickly was we have a couple of dots on each one, so you can match up dots to dots. But that was some of the early feedback we got. So in our newer games, instead of using a color, we'll have a pattern as well. So if you're not colorblind, you can go red to red, but the red and blue will be different patterns, so you can match it up. And then we're also trying to make color less of a factor, but where we have to use it, we're going to use patterns instead. Yeah, our first test that we did, we had 80 users look at it, and I think we had 5 or 6 people talk about that. So it's something that we thought wouldn't be an issue as early as it was.
What kind of help are you looking for? What's your next step?
I think we're looking for developers. We're in Flash and HTML5, so anyone that knows Canvas or ActionScript, we'd love to talk to them. I don't know, what other help are we looking for?
Yeah, if you have a site that you're looking for, they have a CAPTCHA on, you'd like to try it out, we're looking for beta users as well. We just opened up our beta. We're looking for people to add to our team, so whether you're a Flash HTML5 developer or so you have other front-end experience, we'd love to have that. Or anybody really. At this point, we're trying to take as much as we can. And then if you have a brand that you work with, we'd love to talk to you a little bit more about how we can increase engagement and brand recall for you.
Also, if you've seen a crappy CAPTCHA on a website, you can go to ruhuman.com and submit the URL so we can go and talk to them and try and change.
Are you planning on passing the advertising dollars on to the website owners?
Yeah, we're going to, I think, have to do a revenue share. We're experimenting with that model right now, so I don't want to just assume that we have to, because I think it's a superior product, but most likely we'll do a revenue share. And some of the people that have done similar types of advertising is always revenue share, so I anticipate we'll have to do that.
Anybody else?
How does the conversion rate on these forms that use your service compare with the forms that use CAPTCHA? Have you tested that with the sites that are implementing your form right now? What does the conversion rates typically look like?
Yeah, go.
So right now we're just on a very few sites right now, so we don't have a lot of A/B testing in the conversions, but that's something that we are trying to test. So these numbers are very small, but with ours out there, like on Wismith Form, we're seeing a 95% success rate with our game. and typically the success rate is 80% on normal captchas. And we actually do an A/B test with reCAPTCHA and ours on there, and it's even worse than that on Winsmith form for the reCAPTCHAs. So it's closer to 60 to 70% of success rate that they're seeing. There's a much higher success rate. We'll be looking at those conversions later on as well as we have more data to find out what happened with those. But yeah.
All right, Kyle's last question.
When you develop a game, I'm assuming there's more than one solution or more than one configuration of the game so that every person gets a different variation?
Correct.
Like when you develop a game, how many permutations are there?
So what we,
Yeah, it varies from game to game. So, there's permutations of what the actual instructions can read and say, but there's also other things that we can change within that. So, where the shapes originate is another change that can happen there. So it really varies from game to game. But if we,
thousands?
yeah, so 30,000 is about where we're at with this. Yeah, and that's just at a base level. We can do millions if we include where we place those shapes when the game first begins.
It's also a matter of, we'll be serving up multiple games at any one time, so those permutations then become much larger.
Yeah. So if you think about it, the idea is you wouldn't see a Domino's captcha over and over and over and over again. You would see a Domino's and then a Coke. So even if there were limited, it'd be pretty difficult to know what you were getting next.
All right, thank you guys very much. All right, and the next up is Don Hogan. Don is with KnowledgeWatch.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Hogan, founder and CEO of KnowledgeWatch. KnowledgeWatch is an information mining company that's based in Ann Arbor, and we've been involved in delivering product to customers since the timeframe of 2006. This customer, MedAxiom, is involved in the cardiology information business, and we provide them with a very focused cardiology news feed every day. We've been doing that for 5 years. The great thing about the internet is there are billions of sources of information. The awful thing about the internet is that there are billions of sources of information. And all of us are having a hard time getting that information that we need. Professional organization content managers and enterprise knowledge workers have a serious problem. They're charged with gathering this kind of information from the web to provide to their memberships every day, every week. Getting information off the internet, as you know, is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant. And it's a real challenging thing to deal with this kind of information overload. And it's not getting better, it's getting a lot worse. Here are some statistics that are provided by these sources below, which demonstrate the fact that this is getting very, very difficult to deal with for organizations that have this kind of problem. So that's why KnowledgeWatch was created. We turn the torrent of information into a useful, navigable, organized stream of information. 2/3 of what we do is harvesting of information. About 1/3 of the technology involved in our system is the organization of that information so that professional organizations and enterprise departments have a way of viewing the information that they want that's very focused. As in this example with MishBio, we've just implemented a topical-based news mining system for MishBio to release to their bioscience member companies here in Michigan. So this is an example of how we are applying our technology so that we can raise the bar considerably in the world with information providing for professional organizations. The return on investment of how we've priced this product is very significant versus some of the free alternatives like Yahoo Pipes and Google Alerts. As you can see from this comparative view, we price our products based upon how many times a week we mine it for the customer. And these other free alternatives have a very serious manpower-based overload that is associated with them. And they provide a heap of data, but there's no good way of dealing with the data afterward. Might be good for people and individuals, it's not good for organizations. We are providing an investment opportunity to the angel community and with a friends and family round in addition. A total of $600,000 of investment capital is what we're looking for. We're looking for $100,000 from friends and family, so if you're a friend of mine, I'd like to talk with you after this meeting. If you're an angel investor, I really would like to talk with you because we're involved in a very advanced technological area that is a huge problem that I think we've effectively solved. And we've got years and weeks of experience in grade delivering services to clients. So we have a proven business model. MedAxiom has resubscribed to our services 5 years now. So that's my formal presentation. I'd like to, if we could, open this up to questions. See if there's any questions. I also have a product available here to show you some things on that MishBio application. Maybe we'll just walk through and do some of that.
Again, I'll get to ask the first question, is what differentiates you between the other pipes? You said that you have maybe fewer sources or you're not quite the fire hose. What differentiates you between Yahoo pipes or something?
That's a good question, Wes. What differentiates us is the fact that we're not indexing the entire World Wide Web. That's to start with. We're indexing just what our clients want to see and look at. And if they don't know what it is that they want to go look for, we have power tools within our system which enable them to go out and shop for the things that they're looking for that they would like to consume in our system. So the relevancy factor jumps up tremendously because we're not indexing the entire web. We don't have all the garbage in there that makes relevancy irrelevant when you go to Google, or when you go to Yahoo, or Ask, or other search services. The other key thing about it is we provide a full management system so that the users of our system, they're not just using it once or twice a week or so, or a day, they're using it constantly. They set it up one time, and our system provides a behind-the-scenes process that goes on and does this mining so that whenever they, our content managers, or the users within their membership organizations, whenever they go in and they look at a screen like this, which is kind of a front end to our system, they get right to exactly what they want to look at. Any other questions?
Do you have any functionality where employees can vote up or vote down the articles or comment on them or share them or anything?
That's a good question. Not at this time. What we're doing in the next year is we're releasing a version 4 in 2012. And that's going to be focused on customer user configurability. And we're going to be working those kinds of things and layering them into our product over time. One thing about the software as a service business model is that it's an exciting way to layer out and develop new technologies that are becoming commonplace in the internet. And so we plan on layering those things out effectively over time.
Are you concerned that you might not be getting new sources of information if you're not mining the entire web?
We have a power tool within our system. And what it does is it allows our customers to go and look and mine through the web for content sources that are very similar to the ones that they already have in their profile. So that's one of the ways we're addressing it. Equally, we have a topic discovery power tool within our system, which lets a customer who wants to keep up on all the latest terminology in a field of, say, bioscience or cardiology or nuclear engineering. They don't know all the new stuff happening every day and every week. But we have a topic discovery feature which allows them to semi-automatically go through the content that's being harvested and have it feed them with new nomenclature on things that they hadn't even known about. and they can click and pop that right into their profile for consuming into the mining process from that point forward. Yeah.
How do you deal with content sources that are subscription-based?
We deal with them very compatibly. We provide a track for content sources to work with us on. If they're subscription-based for pay, typically that's a transaction between the professional organization or our customer enterprise and that organization. We're involved in the piping and the delivery of technology behind the scenes. In the future, in the next year, for organizations like MishBio and the 50 or so bioscience organizations across the country that we'll be delivering this product to, we will also be adding in price content notifiers so that when somebody clicks on a particular topic, like, let's see, human health, they get a listing of topics where there's content related to it. And they click on a topic like this. Then they see the articles that are related to that very quickly through 3 clicks. What we'll be doing is putting notifiers in there that content partners of ours have price content like white papers that are $100 each or abstract work that will be available to them. So essentially what we're creating is a channel to the very knowledge workers that those content providers want to get to immediately.
Will that be the last question? Thank you very much, Don.
Yeah, thanks.
Lance Carlson sleeping?
Isn't he here? Lance?
Thanks. Oh, there he is. In the front row. If I would have known it more in advance, I probably would have thought of more joke and some sort of routine. Don't put that on camera.
I already did.
Missed it.
Don, did that work? The
Yeah,
Ethernet
it
cable
does.
work? I think it does.
Okay. Is it better than the wireless light?
You get a lot of bandwidth on that one.
Speed of everything, right? I thought it was actually early.
You could talk about the sponsors.
What?
All the sponsors. The first sponsor would be the Roth School of Business, offering this wonderful facility for us. Roger, you're going to have to help me out with the other ones.
Tech transfer.
Let me say tech transfer here at the University of Michigan. A2Geeks is the driving force behind this. And who else am I missing?
That's pretty much it.
Good times all around. And we're almost there. So I'll just kind of slowly introduce Lance Carlson with HealPay.
I didn't know how to make this look good on the screen, but too many tabs open. I'm sure all developers can relate. Alright, so just to introduce it, my name is Lance Carlson. I've been working on a startup for the past year called HealPay. We came from was doing some work in the collection space. It's kind of a weird industry, and me and my business partner, he's not here today, but we came from the collections industry. Well, I came from the development, programming background, but we saw some interesting problems with account receivables. So we started there, and we realized that what we really wanted to do was become a tech company involved in first-party collections. But what we did was create a tool that mimicked and is closely related to a lot of other online cloud billing softwares like FreshBooks and GetHarvest. But we had a different spin on it where we have our tool was set up more for helping you increase your account receivables. We also have some interesting ideas about how billing software online should be. So we're going to be competing directly with FreshBooks and in near future, right now. This is completely free, and you guys can sign up online. It's at HealPay.com. So if you're a consultant or whatever, you can try it out and start invoicing people right away and give us feedback. We're looking for it. So when you log in, you're presented with a dashboard. I wish I invoiced this much, but we've demoed it enough times that it kind of accumulated a lot of money. But it gives you a nice high-level overview of how many contacts and invoices you have, and what state they're in, whether or not they've been delivered, viewed, or in a reviewing state, delinquent, whatnot. And it's really good to see sort of like who was viewing your invoices and who's actually paid at a high level, so that you can really drill down and not worry too much about it. Most of the time, we found that companies that have had issues with collections, it's been because they're just not organized. Their billing software is not very good, and they haven't been on top of their customers to collect. So we have a basic customer management system in here where you can add contacts. Anyone want to volunteer to be emailed, invoiced? I'll just use a pre-existing contact, but you can see like so you could invoice test at HealPay.com, but it's not going to go to anybody. So I'll try invoicing someone real. And you can actually invoice multiple people. I don't really want to, but you can invoice multiple people so that multiple people can be on the invoice contacted. It auto increments an invoice ID, which is nice. You can keep track of purchase orders. You can actually auto adjust these invoice dates, specify tax, basic invoicing. It's better than an Excel spreadsheet. Gives you line item, previous line items that you've put in the system. And then one of the features that sets us apart is the ability to make deals. And this comes from the collection space, particularly interesting for web developers and designers too, because they've not been able to. Some customers, don't pay or have a hard time paying, especially if you're dealing with, startups or you're developing a small prototype app. You can actually give them a payment plan and finance them up to how many, payments you want and have it accumulate compound interest. So, the rate at which they pay is directly incentivized by how early they pay and make sure they're on time and whatnot, because it will accumulate interest. So, that's not this. see. This actually gets sent out to not only yourself, but whoever owes you money, and they can select one of these three options to pay. Obviously, this is kind of a weird setup because I could either pay full payment, which would be, why would I do that if I got a 15% discount? But you could do that. But it allows them to pay you online. You can set it up with PayPal and collect your money. So this service is available free right now. We're starting to release a marketplace, and you can also configure your logo and whatnot, and other integrations, FreshBooks and QuickBooks. But we are going to start creating a marketplace where you can actually install apps that we've created. Eventually, we want to open it up to third parties, but apps that we've created, like time tracking, and you'll be able to pay for them on a recurring basis. But basic version is free. You're welcome to sign up and give us feedback.
Let's jump to questions.
How do you prioritize your target audience from B2B contractors and consumers?
It's a very good question. We've actually been struggling with that quite a bit. We find, unless someone else can give us a better answer, that web developers and web designers and contractors online that are the most savvy, and that we want to start targeting them now more than ever because we feel that it's the lowest hanging fruit. They may be the most critical, but we could use that, those people to evangelize our product to reach the broader audience, because we've done a lot of direct sales, and the sales cycle is a really long process with direct sales. We actually have the Ann Arbor Chamber of Commerce right now we're working with, and that's taking a long time. So, I think that web developers, they don't have as much of that hierarchy,
Is it designed for large-scale implementations? Say, if you were a large organization, be able to use it as much as it is for single person or different departments who can?
This thing can scale to anything. We have like a mass contact importation set up, and we also have we actually have a collection agency, the original customer base that we were thinking, using this on 60,000 accounts. So,
yes.
How do you make money?
right now the base, this is free, but we are charging a white label version for that collection agency right now. So that's how we're making money now. But we want to release a marketplace, like with recurring revenue. Like, for example, we're going to be releasing a time tracking application that you can install, and that will be like a small monthly fee. So for all the web designers and web developers out there, that's going to be a pretty key feature, we feel. So as opposed to FreshBooks, which caps your contacts and invoices, we're going to give you unlimited contacts and invoices, but if you want the extra features, we're going to charge you, but it's still going to be cheaper than FreshBooks.
One more question? All right. Thank you very much. All right, next up is Changming Fan, and he's with TiniLite.
Thank you. Business leaders, marketers, friends, and social party animals. Do you have some new idea to run business, advertise your business? Do you have news to broadcast? or you want to send some message in the Times Square that you love somebody, I tell you some good news. It's very cool, and that is S4, which stands for Smart Social Sign Service. Hi, my name is Changming. Can you see my name? Oh, okay. From China. Don't be scared, I'm not communist. But I do have a small factory. My brother and a bunch of people over there, sweatshop, making product for you guys. TiniLite, the very first mobile sign enlarge our social network in the public places. Better than Twitter, Facebook, and it's much cheaper. So I'd like to invite my friends later, be ready, except my brothers and Professor Wang in China, to come down here to meet our team. What is TiniLite? Pretty simple. You can see 3 eyes right there. TiniLite. Interconnect. Physically interconnect like Lego blocks. Electrically use LED to present. The new lighting system of TiniLite combines 6 clean technology: LLL, W, and W. What we want to do is combine this clean technology together, create this new social sign service by using a new way. First of all, why is it smart? You have a cell phone, you can connect internet, there's a sign, whether it's Beijing or not, you can change it. We create a new social network by enlarging it online off screen. The sign will be through advertisement and networking, and the service will be all over the world. We are going to manufacture our product in China and also here, made with China. Service will be all over the world, first as long as the place where we can speak English. The market. We have the market, retail, restaurants, wherever you go, nightclub, or supermarket like Walmart. Event. Do you have a party? Do you have gathering together? Somebody get married or divorced? Let's celebrate. Use our social sign. And most importantly, you have community. Neighborhood, gotta put a sign there. Maybe somebody has new baby or somebody divorced or somebody wants to have a birthday party. Use our sign. Here is the problem. How are we going to get money? Bottom line is cost and profit. What we're going to do is create a new way of doing business. Number 1, top tier 1. You have a place, or have a wall, I have a window. Doesn't matter, then we can put you tier 1. Your customer, tier 1. And because you're a subscriber, don't worry, we do things free. Other tier customers, maybe senator, maybe church leader, maybe somebody like Dell himself, or Ford. Buy one, have you visited Ford lately? We can do the sign for you. You see the clock down there? It's a flexible, 24/7, 168 hours, and times 60, you have 70,000 some minutes. We can show that. Content management plus the viewer, much more than you have a cell phone and laptop. You might have more followers than that. What is the job of creation? We have to rely on ourselves. Make product here. So we have to consider what is number 1 is green, which is sign operator. You can move along, you can play video games. You are ready to put a sign together. To the left, content manager. JP, I turn here smile because this is the job we can do. Let them manipulate the signs far away, from Beijing to here. And the last one, which is have to create worker in our factory. That's why our friend here can help. In a minute, can you turn it around? JP is going to change the sign wirelessly, but we haven't have the prototype yet. Pretty soon we're going to have using cell phone, anybody can change the sign. I think I have this, thank you everybody, especially our new friends. Could you guys come over here and let's come over here to have introduced to you guys and maybe help you to answer the question. Jules and Jim. And also I really want to appreciate JP. JP, can I send up me? Come here. And now I open the question to everybody. Thank you.
So the first question for me is, who wants to put this up when they can't control the content?
I didn't hear, sorry.
Who's going to put this up when they cannot control the content?
Actually, JP can answer the question. Everybody can. If you have a cell phone, you can change the sign. Because of we haven't had that ready yet, but pretty soon you will see. Remotely control your sign from the cell phone to the cloud and then down to the sign. Yes.
But do you want me changing your sign?
Well, you can. Do you have a cell phone?
I do.
Well, not now, because as I said, that you can change the sign wirelessly, but not go to the cloud. Pretty soon, in 2 months, we'll come back. Please come back
So
again.
the question is why would would you want me to change your sign to say go to the store next door?
Yes, Groupon is a group of the business get together, attract the people. We do the same thing, but much better. Because what we want to do, let the community, online, off-screen, work together, do business, help each other, and also have the bigger social network. Can I just take 1 second to introduce my friends?
Sure.
Here are the market leaders, and also especially I want the gentleman here is representing the manufacturer guy. I just visited his factory. Too bad, he sold that, now it's empty. Why not? We make product right here with China. That's my fun. And maybe you can say something or next time. Now, I want to introduce he's also David and James. Both represent the industry, in auto industry. We gotta let these two people here lead us to manufacture product, physical product, treatable product, not just services. Those two guys are service heroes. Website development, anybody want to do better, website advertising, you ask them. Not me, and my friend JP over there, and some other people in China.
All right, take questions.
Yes.
So I manage the trading floor down over there, just over the hallway there. And we have one of these signs, and across that sign it has tickers that scroll across. And those tickers I can make in different colors and stuff, and it'll scroll. And so when I look at this sign, I don't see that I can have it scroll across.
JP, then gentleman asked the question. Here is the JP.
Yes, we can make it scroll.
Can you make it scroll? And is it limited just to that height, or can you make it even higher than that?
We can make it different sizes, and in a minute it's going to start scrolling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually 2 questions. One is the size of tiny ear light. Can be this small, this is called a tiny car light. We have tiny ear light going to come in 2 months. Bigger size like this, and a big size like that you can carry in the airplane. That's the question?
Yeah, that's part of the question. The other part of the question is that, so to my ticker, I can put whatever tickers and whatever news I want to whatever news feed I want. Can I link this up to, say, Dow Jones News or, a stock tickers or something like that?
That's exactly what we can get bigger money. Yes, we can.
Can you vary the colors on here?
Well, the color at this moment, it is monocolor. But because everybody know PWM, pulse width modulation, anybody know how to use 0 and 1 combined together, easily change the colors up to 256 colors per character. But this technology is pretty simple. Anybody know, right, PWM? That's pretty easy. All of these manipulate bit and byte.
Any other questions?
When can I get one?
I cannot get it.
When can I get one?
Who wants one?
Well, do you have $100,000? Well, the question is, well, I'm joking. The question is, we are trying to raise a little bit money. Not that much. We are close our first phase, which is internal raise money, family, friends, and fools. Now we are open up to Series A funding, and anybody who are working with venture capitalist firm, and we can talk. There are a lot of things we can open up, and at this moment we really have to say slow down because we need some seed money.
Well, I'm sure the venture capitalists in the room will find you afterwards. We'll thank you there. Thank you
But
very much.
thank you very much.
Yeah, leave that here. Dimitri. Dimitri Akimaru with Vena Biometrics. I'll start when you start.
Hi everybody, my name is Dimitri Akimaru, industrial engineer at the University of Michigan and co-founder of Vena Biometrics. Tonight I'd like to share with you a story that I've been going through. We started Vena 1.5 years ago and we've been through a lot of struggle. And I'd like to make this more of a lesson learned type of story than anything else. So I entered the University of Michigan, sorry? Doesn't have to do anything right now. I entered the University of Michigan 2 years ago as a freshman, and I got this pamphlet from Empowered Entrepreneurship Organization that said, "Do you want to own a business and make a big impact in this world?" I said, "Oh yeah, why not?" So I right? Everybody wants. So I attended their meeting, and there were good people there, all entrepreneurially minded, mostly students. And we sat down together and said, hey, create a group and let's go for a business, why not? So we started brainstorming a lot about different cool ideas. And we didn't have much experience with entrepreneurship or anything, so we said, hey, if we can create something cool, it's going to sell, right? It's going to make a good business. It was our initial thought. So it boiled down to a question that everybody of us was curious. Why is there no solution to this problem that you have this wallet with all that stuff inside, like your credit cards, your touch cards, and all the stuff, So we said, okay, let's go and first try to eliminate credit cards. And what approach would we take? Well, one was combine all the credit cards into one card so that you can eliminate the rest. The other one was take all the information and put it into your cell phone and use NFC technology, for example, that we use in Japan right now. And the last one was, hey, let's go with biometrics. And we like biometrics because it was cool. And, well, there were other reasons as well. But anyway, we went with biometrics, and our developers had already started working on the back-end service, etc. And we said, okay, let's go to Tampa, to the annual Biometrics Expo, and let's see what biometrics is out there. We weren't really interested in biometrics like fingerprint or anything because they're outdated, we believe. We said, hey, palm vein identification is really good, and it was through Fujitsu. And what they did was they created a biometric identification system that basically reads the veins inside your palm and identifies you uniquely. And it looked really, really promising, so we said, hey, let's develop an MVP on that, a minimal viable product. And we've been working on this for quite long. When you go to school and do business, it doesn't really balance well and it takes a lot of time. Well, actually, we went not too much to school, but anyway, we did fine, okay. And we created an alpha version, which we showcased at the Empowered Career Fair. And surprisingly, there were a lot of people who were really interested in it, and actually it was a 4-hour event, and we enrolled over 100 students in our California-based database, so it was a really exciting thing. And the fact that we got a lot of good feedback made us believe that it goes really anywhere. Until the time when we started talking to merchants, because we really wanted to make something awesome, so that we can present something awesome and they can install it, and we can persuade them that this works. But all the effort that we put in and all the time was gone because the merchants, they really liked the service, but they couldn't pay for it. And it ended up costing much, much more than we had expected. So that's a lesson that we have learned through our venture here. Then we had all that, all that stuff, the devices lying around. So we said, hey, maybe payments are not working, but how about biometric door access, or how about biometric at airports, right? So that you can, against terrorism, etc. Or ATMs. There's a lot of things, but if you think about it, you're right now going with somebody else's technology and trying to find a need for it, which is exactly the opposite of what you're supposed to do as an entrepreneur, right? So it ended up being a good project for us all. We've been working really hard all together. I had a great team with me. Here are the co-founders and everybody who's contributed to it. And this is just my way of contributing back to this community that, hey, I learned something, and in life you learn something out of failures as well, because the failures you remember, the successes you forget. And I believe it was a great, great project for us as students. I hope we're going to create something amazing next time, and hopefully this speech benefited you all. And I really appreciate all the amazing students that worked with me, all the faculty members who have supported us for so long, and we have an amazing entrepreneurial community here in Ann Arbor. So I really thank you for all that, and with that I'd like to open for questions. Thank you.
So in terms of lessons learned, what is the first question you're going to ask of yourself maybe the next go around that you didn't ask this time?
The customers really need it, if anybody wants the product or not, and if they can pay for it. Yeah.
All right, open it up to the audience. Yeah.
What happened when you contacted U of M? I know you're talking to the U of M hospital.
Oh yes, we did, yeah. The thing is that with this business, what went really wrong is that we didn't really have good connections to any big entity. So even if you talk, let's say, to U of M or to the union buildings, etc., it's really, really hard to go through this whole process of getting approved, etc., if you don't know somebody up there. And we just didn't have too much power to go through that. Besides, the fact that technology had some restrictions, let's say, doesn't work under 0 degrees Celsius, so what is the environment? I don't really know that. It doesn't work outside, so it has to be indoors and it has to be under certain conditions. It's really hard to be implemented at this stage. Okay.
What was the cost of the system?
Oh, the system? Like the biometrics itself, I'm not really allowed to talk about it. The system itself was around $350, the biometric one. And then you have to create a whole infrastructure around it, the hardware, etc. It costs some money. So yes, we couldn't really reach a competitive price.
Is there an advantage to this type of identification versus fingerprinting and the other?
Oh well, yes, but I mean that's a product that Fujitsu came up with, so we don't have any property on it. But you can go online, found Vena identification, and you will see a bunch of good things. Like for example, it's contactless, right? So you don't have any germ concerns. It's 2,000 times more accurate than fingerprint, and it's a biometrics that I believe can really take off if it's being used in the right way. The only reason why we really can't continue anymore with this project is because we don't really have the connections to anybody. Hey, if we had military funding, let's say, right, the military is really interested, or government entity, or we had a large distributor who would help us distribute the product, then the story might have been a little bit different. We had the engineers and the people to create a strong team to develop, but the connections weren't there.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll open the floor to any questions, if anybody, or comments or announcements. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Just
looking for help? Go for it.
a little background. Wes, what do you think? A little background?
Yeah. Why don't you go for it?
Hey, my name is Tom Nastis, and I was one of the first of 2 venture capitalists in the 1980s. Had a fund, and then I started doing international venture capital, and I've been living in Russia for about 12 years and now coming back frequently. But a friend of mine who's an angel investor and an investment banker and now is funding a lot of nonprofits in Michigan, he still lives in Moscow along with myself, is looking for some IT guys. So I don't want to be inundated with 10,000 resumes. I'm just doing this as a friend, for a favor for him. But
looking for him in Michigan.
Pardon?
You're looking for him in Michigan, not in
Looking for him in Michigan, yeah, for Michigan for a company that he founded, a nonprofit. But if you could just come up and introduce yourself to me a little afterwards, I'd like to get your card and maybe pass on some names or resumes.
Do you know what kind of IT help he needs?
No, we didn't get in that kind of detail, but I can always follow up with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're interested or know someone who'd be interested, follow up afterwards. Also make the announcement that August 16th is the next A2NewTech right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
What day is it again?
August 16th, I think.
Tuesday night,
Tuesday.
same time, same place.
Any other announcements? Roger?
Detroit Maker Fair is the, Saturday and Sunday of the month? So that's in Dearborn at the Henry Ford. If you didn't make it last year, be sure you make it this year. It's a fun event and educational as well.
What date was that?
I think it's the weekend. Look up Detroit Maker Fair. I think it's Saturday and Sunday.
Kyle? Yeah.
I just looked at my calendar. Is anyone here from Momentum? So it looks like Momentum is having their demo day. So Momentum is a program similar to Y Combinator or Techstars in Grand Rapids. And their demo day is next week on Thursday, July 28th. Look at their website for more details, momentum-mi.com.
Good one. Anybody else? Yeah.
We're a venture-backed media company. We're seeking developers, designers, people that can get stuff done. So come talk to me afterwards.
All right.
We're local here at
Well, two things. One thing I want to make correction, which is this light I just showed is tiny car light. This is not tiny ear light. The real tiny ear light, much lighter, no screw, much easier to make. Second thing I want to say, anybody haven't get into the cloud, please do so. I strongly suggest AWS, which is free. You can have 1 year free, 15 terabytes data. Anybody want to talk? Anybody want to know? Please, ask me. I can help. One last thing, I like to invite everybody come over to my house, and I like to show you more about our life. Plus, I have a lot of vegetables and flowers. I live in Surin, Changming Fan, TiniLite work. Thank you.
Did you say beer?
Oh, no beer. No beer. Sorry about that.
Anyone else?
Well, we're talking about beer, the Ustreamed Beer Festival is this weekend.
Indeed. Anybody else? Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Timothy House, and right now I'm looking for businesses in the Metro Detroit area that could use help with getting their name out there through effective internet marketing. Right now I'm offering promotional videos that businesses can, I'm offering to put together promotional videos for businesses to go out online. It can help to increase the conversion rates on business websites, and I can also help to drive traffic to internet business websites and also to help with conversion rates. So if you know of anybody that's looking for help in that area, please feel free to come talk to me. Thanks.
Any other announcements? All right. I'll see you next time.